Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program is about to begin. Please welcome our host, Emmy Award-winning journalist, television personality, and the founder and CEO of Inspired Media 360 and the co-founder of the Center for Positive Media, Carrie Pena.
Hi, everyone. I am so glad to be back with you. I should have worn shorter heels. I'll adjust. That's what we do, right, Ange? So, I've been the MC for 10 years, I believe, for this event. This is the 13th annual One Community Spotlight on Success Local Heroes Awards. And those of you who know Angela, and I think most of you in this room do, you know she's got a dress code, right? Black turtleneck. So in honor of my Ange today, I busted out a black turtleneck so you and I can be twinning, which is kind of a thing for me because normally I wear like bright newscaster colors. So Ange, this is for you. As you all know, One Community is the coalition of socially responsible businesses, organizations, and individuals who are driving diversity, inclusion, equity, and equality for all Arizonans forward. One Community is committed to reshaping Arizona's image through educating, empowering, and connecting our diverse LGBTQ+ and allied communities with business leaders, academic institutions, elected leaders, many of you are here today, members of the media, and key opinion leaders about the benefits of inclusion and its direct impact on attracting and retaining top talent and businesses. When we treat everyone with equality and fairness, we ensure that our state's economic sustainability and a bright future for all Arizonans. So we encourage you to interact today. You see the hashtag BetterTogetherAZ, and we want a lot of social media traction from the event. We're so proud of this enormous crowd, and the event continues to grow and grow. You know, I just want to take a quick moment here because we have a packed program. I just want to say that, you know, through the last decade, as I've grown with One Community, I've also been very fortunate and blessed to grow as a journalist, working first here in local news at 3TV, and starting my own production companies, including now a collaborative space called the Center for Positive Media. So I work here locally, nationally, and now do some work internationally. My focus really is on solution-driven media, and we shine the light in a lot of places that there is darkness. And I was just recently this week, I flew back from DC, and I want to read quickly a quote because I was thinking about this event and how many years I've been attached to this, and I was at the African American History Museum, and I saw this quote, and it said, "Let us gear ourselves to the great task of mapping out a pathway that will truly lead to a better world for us all." This was from 1944, a woman named Mary McLeod Bethune. And I was thinking that as it pertains to why we're here today and the journalism that I do and why I am so connected to Angela. I was interviewed recently and someone said, "What is your focus? What do you care about with your journalism?" And I didn't even have to think about it at all. I said, impact. That is what I care about. I care deeply about having an impact. That's why I support Angela, and that's why I support One Community's vision of a fully inclusive Arizona and an LGBTQ inclusive nation. So again, thank you all so much for having me back again this year. So today you will hear some amazing stories of our LGBTQ+, make sure I get that right, and allied local heroes. And together we will work towards a future when celebrating, respecting, and protecting all Arizonans isn't something we strive for, it is in fact who we are. But before we get into our celebration today and the highs and some lows of our state's journey toward equality and fairness for all Arizonans, please join me in welcoming Andrew Nate Ruggieri for the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, not only is such a cool name, but an amazing voice. Andrew, thank you again. You did a beautiful job, beautiful. One community would like to thank all of the elected officials who have joined us for today's event. I'm going to move through those so we can acknowledge all these great folks here today. City of Mesa Mayor John Giles is with us. City of Tempe Mayor, who I just interviewed yesterday, Mr. Corey Woods, is in the house. From the City of Chandler, Vice Mayor Matt Orlando is here. Council Member Angel Encinas is here with us today. And Council Member Odie Harris is in the house as well. City of Glendale Council Member Jamie Aldama is here again this year. Every year Jamie is here. City of Phoenix Council Member Keisha Hodge Washington is with us today. Representative Brian Fernandez is here. Representative Melody Hernandez is with us as well. And Representative Patty Contreras is in the house today. Representative Jennifer Pollock is here. State Senator Catherine Miranda is with us. Former Representative Cesar Chavez and former Senator Sean Bowie are both here as well. And one community would also like to acknowledge from Governor Hobbs' office, Deputy Chief of Staff Tracy Lopez is here, and Chief of Staff Chad Campbell is with us today. A senior advisor for U.S. Senator Kyrsten Sinema, Austin Kennedy, is with us today. Ginger Torres, a State Executive Director of the USDA Farm Service Agency, is here. And the General Counsel of Mexico in Arizona, the Honorable Jorge Mendoza Yescas, is with us today. And you guys are like, how much more clapping do we have? That's the end of my list, I promise. So thank you to everyone for being here. The events program is available digitally, and Census is a socially responsible organization. They are going green, so there's just one per table. So y'all can share this, and you can scan the QR code, and you'll see the raffle, really great raffle item. And again, 100% of the proceeds of today's raffle will go to support the educational work of the One Community Foundation. So let me just tell you briefly about the raffle. This is 2 round-trip tickets from Southwest Airlines, which is the official... Well, we got the party crew from Southwest here. What's up, y'all? The official airlines of One Community, and you guys are always the friendliest, by the way. I love flying Southwest. Arizona sports memorabilia comes with this, along with certificates for local breweries, eateries, hotel stays, and a $1,000 gift certificate. Wait, I need to get a raffle ticket. You got a Molina Jewels going with this? Molina Fine Jewelers. So this is valued at over $5,000, and the raffle tickets begin at just $25. So you can scan the QR code and get a raffle ticket. Of course, we would not be here today without the generous support of all the sponsors, our friends and partners at PetSmart. PetSmart sponsors the Unity Agent Award, so please thank them for the commitment to equality and fairness for all Arizonans. PetSmart, you guys rock. Thank you so much. Now we also want to thank our center stage sponsors, Arizona Lodging and Tourism, AZ Big Media, Cox Communications, Fry's Food Stores. Is Pam here? Oh yeah, we love Pam. Full Swing Studios, Glendale Chamber of Commerce. I love it. The government folks? Yeah, let's get that again. Glendale Chamber of Commerce. Nice, nice, nice. Hensley, thank you so much. JP Morgan Chase. Many to one. Well, let's do it for many to one. Many to one. And then One AZ Credit Union. The Sheridan downtown, and thank you to our wonderful wait staff here. You guys have all been amazing. And also the last on this list for center stage sponsors is Waymo, so thank you to all those sponsors. Today we are here to celebrate, as you all know, the 8 LGBTQ+ and allied individuals, and we are so honored to share their stories of equality and fairness, as well as social responsibility in their business practices, and their commitment to inclusion for all Arizonans. Now please join me in welcoming Reverend David Felton.
Good morning, all. I'm honored today to join you, leaders and everyday folks from across Arizona, in celebrating equality, inclusion, and love. But no such celebration would be complete without honoring the memory and legacy of a tireless champion of love and equality, Nelda Majors. Many of us gathered here today knew Nelda and her loving wife, Karen, because together they touched countless lives. Together, Karen and Nelda challenged discrimination and inequality. They showed us that love knows no boundaries, the heart knows no gender, and that together we can reshape the world into a more inclusive and accepting place for all. In a world where prejudice and hatred still persist, Nelda and Karen advocated for the rights of LGBTQIA individuals to love openly and to marry freely. Their unwavering commitment to the cause of marriage equality has left an indelible mark on our society, inspiring us to continue the work toward full acceptance and equal rights for all. So with gratitude, we remember the struggles Nelda and Karen faced together, the barriers that they broke, and their unwavering courage and resilience in the face of adversity. They remained steadfast and modeled what a lifelong commitment to equality can look like. As we remember and celebrate Nelda's life, let us remember the many ways that she embodied the essence of compassion and love. Every day, she showed others that love is a force more powerful than hatred. And as we honor her memory, let us pledge to carry forward her vision of a world where love conquers all. So together, may we not only mourn Nelda's passing, but recommit ourselves to live into her legacy, ensuring that everyone, regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation, can experience the profound and transformative power of love and equality. With love and with gratitude, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce one community's tribute to my friend and remarkable woman, Nelda Majors.
We met in 1957. We were living in the same dorm at Sam Houston State College in Huntsville, Texas. I knew that I was gay. I felt like that I should tell Karen that I was gay because I didn't want other people thinking, since we were running around together and developing this friendship, I didn't want them thinking that I was trying to hide anything from her. So I told her that I was gay so that I would be the one who told her and no one else.
Well, when I was at home and I realized that I really did care for Nelda, and we were talking and she told me, she said that she loved me. And I said, well, I love you too. And she said, no, I don't think you realize what I'm saying. I really love you. And I told her, I said, I know exactly what you're saying because I really love you too. Well, in the 50s, you certainly didn't let anyone know that you were gay. You could lose your friends, your family, your job, definitely.
This is a civil rights issue. America was founded on the principle that all people are created equal, and we're looking forward to equality coming to Arizona.
It is now my pleasure to welcome Nelda Majors and Karen Bailey. You know what's beautiful about this couple? They've been together for 55 years, and they're from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nelda. I'm Karen's partner. And I also want to thank the United for Marriage Coalition for giving us this opportunity to speak at this historic rally. It's an honor to be here with all of you.
Gay marriage is now legal in Arizona.
I'm Nelda Majors.
And I'm Karen Bailey. And we're out here today to try to get a marriage certificate.
Oh, yeah?
marriage license.
Marriage license.
We made a vow 57 years ago, raised a family together, and finally today our marriage and commitment to each other is equal in the eyes of the law.
A lifetime of love, now recognized across the United States.
We've always had that commitment to each other, and even today didn't change that, but the neat thing about it is that we have the legal protections now.
Protections they didn't have in every state until today. Struggles that couples and families across the valley hope to leave in the past.
Today we can celebrate that ours is a country that keeps its promise of the pursuit of happiness, liberty, and justice for all.
And I believe Karen is at table 19. Karen, I hope you don't mind, but if you could just stand, and we would love to acknowledge you. Nelda and Karen's love story was the inspiration, of course, for the Unity Pledge. And as you may know, this year is the 10-year anniversary of the pledge, as we've been talking about. Now, please join me in welcoming One Community Engagement Director, the wonderful Janine Skinner, as we celebrate a decade of unity.
That's a tough act to follow. Good afternoon, everyone, or morning still. Thank you so much for being with us today. And on behalf of the One Community family, I'd like to personally thank you all for the love and support you've given us this past year. Goodness. We've had our share of loss, and we've faced some challenges that we didn't see coming, but we've come through it stronger and more determined than ever to do everything it takes to bring full equity and equality to the LGBTQ community in our state and in our nation. This is a goal that we know we can reach with your support because we truly are better together. More on that a little later from our fearless leader. So typically at this time, I'd be getting ready to introduce our year in review video. But as you heard Carrie say, this year is kind of special for us. It's the 10-year anniversary of our Unity Pledge. So we thought this would be a great time to take a look back and revisit some of the moments and milestones that made One Community what it is today. Now, I know some of you in this room have been with Angela and Sherry from the very beginning, but for most of us, at least some of this story will be new. So sit back and enjoy a retrospective of our first 10 years of the Unity Pledge and the impact it's had on our state and our community. I hope you enjoy the ride.
Every movement has a story. This is ours.
New tonight, there's a movement underway to end discrimination for those under attack because of their sexual orientation. Equality for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community is asking businesses and individuals throughout the state to sign a unity pledge.
Mayor Greg Stanton, on hand for the event, kicked things off by signing the pledge himself.
And now we are officially kicked off.
For our economy to advance, for us to build the right kind of jobs, we need everyone to be a part of our future. And so a diverse community, a city that embraces it, that's great for our local economy.
Just over 2 weeks ago, One Community launched the Unity Pledge, a concerted effort by Arizona businesses and individuals to advance workplace equality and equal treatment in housing, hospitality for lesbian, gay, and bisexual, transgender individuals. Let me tell you that over 100 businesses have signed, multicultural organizations have signed, small business, 80% of the businesses that have signed have less than 15 employees. They believe that we all deserve equal protection. Please vote yes.
This is not the LGBT community versus the religious community. And many times, as we heard this evening, it's the same community. In fact, we are always one community. Roll call vote on the proposed ordinance. DeCiccio.
No.
Johnson.
Yes.
Simplot.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Williams.
Yes.
Gates.
No.
Stanton. Yes. So the ordinance passes 5-3, noting that
we realized it was time to kick Unity Pledge into high gear, and we announced a new program called Change Agent. Change Agent was designed to give business and community leaders the tools they needed to talk to their peers about signing the Unity Pledge. Let me tell you, Change Agent is on fire.
Tonight, a controversial bill in Arizona getting national attention. Lawmakers giving the final approval to the bill, which allows business owners to turn away customers on religious grounds. And many gay rights activists are furious, calling it state-sanctioned discrimination.
Governor Brewer has just arrived back in Arizona after a conference in Washington, but while she hasn't tipped her hand yet, the momentum toward a veto is building fast. There have been daily protests over the Republican-passed bill allowing businesses to refuse to serve anyone based on religious beliefs. But gay rights activists say there's no question about the targets of the bill.
This is absolutely about legalizing discrimination, and it is so broadly based that it really can allow any business to discriminate against anyone.
And the Arizona Super Bowl host committee said a key part of its mission is to, quote, promote the economic vitality of Arizona. On that matter, we have heard loud and clear from our various stakeholders that adoption of this legislation would not only run contrary to that goal, but deal a significant blow to the state's economic growth potential. We do not support this legislation.
After weighing all of the arguments, I have vetoed Senate Bill 1062 moments ago.
This is a big step forward for us to be able to have bipartisan support for employment non-discrimination and public accommodations. It's a really important step for all Arizonans, not just those in the LGBTQ community. So we're excited to drop it today, and we're looking forward to working hard to get it passed.
I'm sponsoring this bill because I'm pro-Arizona. The lack of a statewide law has negatively impacted Arizona in many areas.
Today, currently only 6 cities in the state have ordinances banning discrimination based on sexual orientation.
Arizona, it's time to pass a non-discrimination law for all of Arizona and make sure Arizona is not just open for all, but provides opportunity for all.
WHO has been assessing this outbreak around the clock. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
The Arizona legislative session is over. The Senate, which had tried to end it earlier this month, did so today without voting on more than 24 bills sent over from the House.
Tonight, we celebrate equality, respect, and fundamental rights. Tonight's not about breaking new ground, but rather tonight's about sharing common ground. The common ground of respect, equality, and non-discrimination. The basic rights we're all entitled to enjoy. It will be my privilege to vote yes to adopt this non-discrimination ordinance for the City of Mesa. That motion passes 5-2.
The Equality and Fairness for All Arizonans bill will make Arizona stronger, more inclusive, and more welcoming. It will create a more sustainable future for all of us.
What stands out to me most about this bill is that it is such a wonderful attempt to protect Arizonans in the spirit of pluralism and democracy. It is an attempt to meet the needs of an incredibly diverse Arizona and a template for doing that for this country, for America.
LGBTQ advocates warn this wave of bills could create a state of crisis, with more legislation of this kind this year than the last 3 years combined.
The bipartisan support we've garnered in the Senate today proves this issue isn't a matter of one party being right or the other party being wrong. It's about protecting the beliefs that unite us as Americans.
The coalition the Unity Pledge continues to build is the coalition that will lead Arizona into the future. Because the Unity Pledge is more than words. It's an act and a promise. Everyday Arizonans can do extraordinary things. Together, we can create a state that truly celebrates, respects, and protects us all. We have made so much progress, but we still have work to do. Join us in a new pledge. Let's make equality and fairness for all Arizonans a reality by 2025. We are better together. We are one community.
And now please join me in welcoming Mesa Mayor John Giles and One Community's Chief Advocacy Officer Michael Soto for this year's inaugural Common Good Award.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's better. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Mesa Mayor John Giles, and it really is a privilege for me to be here today. In the past, I've described this gathering as a convention of nice people. I love the vibe in this room. Thank you. Mesa, Arizona has a fully inclusive LGBTQ plus non-discrimination ordinance. As a result, I am proud to say that we are welcoming and open for business for everyone.
I just love Mayor Giles. He's just my favorite person. It's always an honor to be up here with you. I'm Michael Soto, and I'm the Chief Advocacy Officer for One Community, and so proud to be here today with everyone. I am a proud trans man and LGBTQ plus advocate, and Mayor Giles is a conservative Republican elected official and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. At first glance, you may not think that Mayor Giles and I would be friends, but that's the magic of the work that we all do together here at One Community. Overcoming adversity by building bridges and by bringing community together to focus on the common good.
When we first began our work on the ordinance in Mesa, we knew that we would need to bring together unlikely allies if we were going to be successful. Folks that, despite differences, could form bonds over our common beliefs and that inclusion and equal rights are universal values, central to the core tenets of all Arizonans, central to the core beliefs of all faith groups, and obviously to good business practices.
We, like all of you here today, believe that we all deserve to be treated with dignity and respect, without exception, and inclusive policies like the one that was passed in Mesa are an important step in building a stronger Arizona.
But we knew, again, we couldn't pass this ordinance alone. We had to have a strong team and a strong group of allies. We needed to bring together folks from across the community, engaging business and community leaders, faith groups, and everyday Arizonans to build a coalition of support. Some folks were with us right away. Thank you. And some folks took a little bit longer. Thank you. But it took coming together for the common good to keep our winning coalition together. And I have to say this, the person that made that possible was Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Knowing the importance and symbolism Here's what she did. Knowing the importance and symbolism of passing an ordinance in Mesa, she helped us bring stakeholders to the table to have the difficult conversations. She encouraged folks not to give up, and in the end, she led a letter signed by community leaders and faith leaders, including members of my own church, to support our ordinance.
And that's just one example of the coalition building that Senator Sinema does and has done throughout her entire career. Senator Sinema was instrumental in introducing and passing the landmark Respect for Marriage Act that repealed the Defense of Marriage Act and required the U.S. federal government and United States and territories to recognize the validity of same-sex and interracial marriages as well as religious freedom in the United States. Once again, she brought unlikely allies to the table and united them in doing the right thing for all Americans. It is for these efforts that One Community is proud to present Senator Kyrsten Sinema with our inaugural Common Good Award for her efforts and impact advancing LGBTQ equality in Arizona and throughout our nation.
Everyone, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person today. Trust me, I would love to be with all of you right now instead of in DC. I'm honored to join you all today as we celebrate the 2023 honorees for the One Community Spotlight on Success Local Heroes Awards. For 15 years, One Community has led the way in Arizona, moving equality for all Arizonans forward while respecting, protecting, and celebrating all who call the great state 48 home. In Arizona, we believe that everyone has the right to define his or her own destiny and that no one should be treated differently under the law. I've been proud to partner with One Community throughout my career. By working with unlikely allies, connecting with folks across Arizona, both inside and outside the LGBTQ community, and building broad coalitions based on trust, we've made incredible advancements in the fight for equality for all. As you all know, this past year we celebrated a historic milestone with the Respect for Marriage Act signed into law, ensuring all married couples enjoy the same protections while respecting all Americans' religious freedoms. Our success with the Respect for Marriage Act built off years of the groundwork that you all laid. I was grateful to help lead the law's passage in the Senate and to build support on both sides of the aisle to pass our bill. I followed the same approach the One Community and Equality and Fairness campaign uses every day in Arizona. I listened to my colleagues and focused on our shared values. I heard their concerns and brainstormed ways we could bridge divides and get to yes. I've learned that when you listen without judgment, to seek to genuinely understand where someone is coming from, you build trust and you're better able to solve problems. That approach proved successful, and it's why we earned bipartisan support in Congress to make our bill a law that stands the test of time. That approach and the key partnership of the One Community is also why we were able to build the critical support of a diverse coalition of local and religious leaders to support our legislation. The authentic relationships you've all built with faith communities across Arizona laid the foundation as we worked with churches on the Respect for Marriage Act. In particular, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints provided thoughtful suggestions and contributions that helped craft the robust and common sense religious liberty protections included in our law. As you all know, not every American or Arizonan agrees on every issue, and that's okay. Honest disagreements don't make us any less decent or honorable, especially if we see disagreement as an opportunity to learn and grow. You know, it may not seem like it in today's partisan world, but there's always been more that unites us than divides us. In Arizona, we value our independence. We're proud of our families and our communities, and we work hard to protect them. We share a strong sense of service, hard work, and self-determination. By focusing on those values, I know we can continue to find success. Thank you. I'm honored to receive tonight's Common Good Award, and I'll continue working alongside all of you as we deliver real results protecting equality for all.
And congratulations to Senator Sinema, and accepting on her behalf is Austin Kennedy. Nice job. Thank you so much, Austin. It's so awkward, right, to stand with the whole room staring at you for a photo, but the photographer's really good, so he got that one fast. Thank you very much, and congratulations again to Senator Sinema. Lunch service is coming out now. We're going to continue through the program because we have a lot to get through today. If you would, please join me in thanking today's Floodlight sponsors, Apple, AT&T, Southwest Airlines, and Upward Projects. Thank you to all of you. And will representatives from the following center stage sponsors please go to the honorees step and repeat right here at the right of the stage. Sheridan Downtown, 1AZ Credit Union, Glendale Chamber of Commerce, and Fry's Food Stores to have your photos taken at the step and repeat. And while those folks are gathering at the step and repeat, we would like to thank this year's Searchlight sponsors, my friends and colleagues from 12 News. I believe they have a whole table here today. Albertson Safeway, thank you guys so much. Arizona Bank and Trust, Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona Lottery, thanks for your ongoing support. Bank of America, Center for the Future of Arizona, Downtown Phoenix Incorporated, Gateway Bank, Greater Phoenix Equality Chamber of Commerce, KEO Marketing, Local First Arizona, the brilliant people from Mayo Clinic, OH Strategic, a longtime supporter, Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, Southwest Center, SRP, Sunbelt Holdings, Tempe Tourism, Univision, And finally, Visit Phoenix. Thank you again to all of you so very much. And now, as your lunch service is coming out, we do want to continue on with the program. We are going to now turn the spotlight for our Local Hero Awards. This year's Local Hero honorees are, all of them, remarkable. Each is truly proof that everyday Arizonans can do extraordinary things when we put our minds to it. As the Executive Director of Phoenix Suns Charities and Vice President of Social See, I knew, Sarah, I wasn't even going to be able to get a couple words out because you are so popular. I'm like, I got a long paragraph here, so let's just, because I love her too. Vice President of Social Responsibility for the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, Sarah Krakenbuhl exemplifies what socially responsible business advocacy looks like. From signing the Unity Pledge to putting Suns and Mercury leaders through One Community Institute and committing their voices to making our community better, Sarah demonstrates the true meaning of partnership. Let's put a spotlight now on our friend, Sarah Krakenbuhl.
I started my career early, 2 decades ago, at the now Arizona Coyotes in philanthropy, and came over to the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury in 2012, and have loved being able to use the brand of these teams, this community asset, to be able to make our community better. It's really incredible work. Our initial partnership was through the pledge, and it made sense for our Mercury team to sign the pledge. We are known to have a safe space for everyone in our community. No matter what, our doors are open to everyone. So we were quick to sign. So then the conversation moved to the Suns, and the Suns needed to sign this. And there were conversations, very supportive conversations. And I'm proud that women in our organization stepped up to make sure that the Suns were on the level playing field, that we are a community asset. We are here for everyone. And so that was really our first partnership, was making sure that we were inclusive in signing the pledge. Our entire organization, the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, pride ourselves on being a socially responsible business. And that means partnering with organizations that have a mission that better our community. We have stood behind different advocacy issues from One Community. We have put our top leaders through One Community Institute. This is part of our culture. It's part of who we are. The Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury have a voice. We have a very loud voice, and we pride ourselves on putting our voice where it matters. And sometimes that's not just about signing a pledge or signing a letter that Angela will call you about. It's about making a phone call. And sometimes those calls aren't always comfortable, but we do it, and we do it because it's right. And our partnership between the two organizations of these professional sports teams that are built on our community and One Communities is a trusted partnership that will be here forever. In celebration of 10 years of great work around the pledge, we are very excited and committed to taking this nationally. We're going to be asking our WNBA and NBA partners to join us in doing what is right and signing the pledge. This award means everything to me. Angela means everything to me. And so for her calling me and telling me that I was being recognized, despite me trying to talk her out of it, she told me I had no choice. And I'm proud. I'm really proud that I spend a lot of time behind the scenes and making others and our brands do great in the community. And to be recognized for behind the scenes work is really, truly remarkable. And I'm very prideful today.
I love that little orange outfit. I need one of those. So adorable. And my kids would be so embarrassed if they knew I just said that. LGBTQ plus inclusion is personal to Terry Kimball. As the president, everybody rolls with a good posse. I love it. As the president and CEO of the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, she also knows an inclusive culture is good for the future of Chandler. Terry united a team of business and faith leaders, along with parents and teens, to move the city toward an inclusive ordinance. Let's put a spotlight now on local hero Terry Kimball.
My personal story on how I became involved with One Community is I became a caregiver for my aunt who was elderly and could not take care of herself. And she didn't have the means because at one time in her career, she was a high-powered executive at a very prestigious corporation. And at 55 years old, they found out that she was gay. And both she and her partner were let go from that company. And she lost a lot of her income, her pension, too early to retire. They gave her a couple years severance pay, but she had to then go out and find other means at a very older age to be able to make ends meet. That spoke volumes to me. How can we let people feel so unworthy and that they couldn't make a living because of who they are, and you shouldn't have that voice be silenced. I've been in the Chamber of Commerce field over 33 years, and I have that drive and passion about making my community a better place, and that's what's really important to me. We started this journey back in 2017. It didn't happen overnight. We all found out that Chandler at the time was the largest community in the state of Arizona that did not have a non-discrimination ordinance. That to me as a community leader was very powerful. It's a little embarrassing, but we needed to step back and how do we get that across the finish line? You know, as a leader, I jumped in and started plowing full force ahead. One Community was an incredible resource for us to be able to tap into to help get that NDO across the finish line. We had to activate many of our community partners to write letters to our elected officials. We even had a teen group that organized demonstrations in our community. That was our youth talking. It wasn't me talking, it was them really having their voices heard and lifting them up, knowing that they did have a voice. We also had other sectors in our community, from our faith-based leaders that really stepped up and also spoke. We had parents come up and speak, and businesses taking the broad stand and really standing up there and being that champion, that this is the culture that we want in our community. This is the high standard we want to hold our community to. Passing the non-discrimination ordinance in our community was just the first big step. We have to continually educate our community because we're nowhere near where we need to be. And as people move in and out of Arizona, how do you keep that momentum going? And as a community leader, that's where we need to make the difference. I was very mixed with emotions when I received the call that I was a One Community local hero. On a personal level, it means Aunt Barb's voice was finally heard and we made a difference. As a community leader, I'm just so blessed that I am given the opportunity every day to work with incredible people on our DE&I committee, as well as our board of directors, and that they allow me to help Chandler continue to make a difference.
Congratulations, Terry, and I love your outfit too. You look amazing. Thank you so much for all you do for our community. Now I would like to invite our next group of center stage sponsors to take your places in front of the Step and Repeat. JP Morgan Chase, Hensley, Cox Communications, and AZ Big Media, please go to the honoree Step and Repeat at the right of the stage. And while they're getting situated, remember, you could take a moment, purchase the raffle ticket, take a look there, ocfraffle.com. You can also make a direct donation to the foundation. You can snap a photo of the QR code if you'd like to do that, and 100% of the proceeds go to the mission here at One Community. Our next award, as the Vice President of Social Responsibility and volunteers for the Super Bowl Host Committee and NCAA Final Four, Jenny Patel is a fearless connector. With the unique opportunity of Arizona being on a global platform during the Super Bowl, Jenny worked to ensure that the NFL became the first Major League sports franchise in the nation to sign the Unity Pledge. Let's put a spotlight on local hero Jenny Patel.
I got to where I am today and in the role I am and into sports through Phoenix Suns and through events. I was a senior event manager for the Phoenix Suns and US Airways Center at the time. And from there, got into Phoenix Suns Charities from my good friend, Sarah Crahenbuhl, and brought me into the Suns Charities side. And that's really where I fell in love with sports philanthropy. From there, fast forward several years, and I got a call from Jay Perry, now our CEO and president of the local organizing committee, and she had this social responsibility role for Super Bowl 57. And I always said I'd never say no to two things, and that's Jay Perry and the Super Bowl. So when Jay Perry calls you about the Super Bowl, you don't say no. So I jumped in head first, and it was the best decision I ever made. I started working with One Community years ago, but most recently through the Super Bowl Host Committee for Super Bowl 57. We have a program called Business Connect. It's a supplier diversity initiative. Really, the point of that program is to promote equitable procurement practices as it relates to major events coming to Arizona. And we all know we're hosting a lot of major events now and hopefully in the future. And we support minority, veteran, LGBTQ+, and woman-owned businesses, and really just showcasing the incredible local diverse talent we have in Arizona. Angela Huey sits on our Business Connect Advisory Committee and really has been a huge asset to the success of the program. And we're excited to continue the Business Connect program to showcase these businesses for all major events coming to Arizona. Leading up to Super Bowl 57, we have this entire huge platform. We're showcasing Arizona on a global platform. And Angela and I had talked about the Unity Pledge, and we knew the Super Bowl Host Committee wanted to sign it. We knew that. The other piece of the puzzle was our partnership with the NFL and how do we get them to sign it? This would be the first time a major league sports franchise has signed the Unity Pledge. We're doing this, right? Okay, so we talked to the NFL and they are all in. We worked with their DEI team in New York, here locally on the ground in Arizona, and we just knew it was the right thing to do. To top it off, the day after Super Bowl 57 was 10 years since the Unity Pledge started. So we knew it could make a big splash. And again, we have this huge platform. The power of sport is huge. So it was really, really important for us to do it and do it right. So doing it the weekend of Super Bowl 57 in Arizona, the fourth time we've hosted Super Bowl, just showcasing Arizona and doing, again, the right thing and signing the Unity Pledge in concert with the NFL was incredible. This award means a lot to me. Not only because it's coming from my dear friend Angela Huey, who I admire and respect, but with the other recipients that are here today, I admire all of them, and I am so proud and humbled to be sitting amongst them. I just want to thank One Community for all of the work that they do day in, day out. They have the hard jobs here. We are the ones that get to help spread the word, but Angela and the team just really do the work every day. And I am so proud to be an ally of the community. And I promise you, I will not stop here.
What What a total rock star you are. I love everything that you had to say in the video, and big congratulations to you, Jenny. Thank you so very much. In a year that has seen an incredible rise in extremist threats, Jewish Community Relations Council's Executive Director, Paul Rockauer, is committed to protecting and safeguarding vulnerable communities. Paul's commitment to collaboration led to the largest Jewish organizational signing of the Unity Pledge in our state's history. Let's put a spotlight on local hero, Paul Rockauer.
My background's in strategic communications, diplomacy, and conflict management. I've worked with a number of different foreign ministries, and I worked with the State Department running performing arts academies in countries in conflict. When there was an uptick in extremism in the US, I decided to take my work from international to a domestic focus, and so I parachuted here to Phoenix, Arizona, almost 4.5 years ago, to help the Jewish community and other vulnerable communities get through some difficult times. The reason why I'm an ally is because I know the LGBTQ community stands with the Jewish community as we deal with extremism. We have to do this together. I think really one of the ways that one community has been a game changer here in the state of Arizona is working with really the two drivers in the state, which have been the business community, which has been your bread and butter, but also your work with the faith communities to help create a better understanding of the need for LGBTQ rights and creating these ordinances that work with conservative faith communities and help bring them to a space where they can be partners in this non-discrimination clause. And I think it's been really iconoclastic the way that one community has created partnerships with communities that you wouldn't always associate, these more conservative religious groups. It was really important for the JCRC to sign the Unity Pledge, and I'm really proud that it was the whole of the Jewish community signing the Unity Pledge. And it was really a very special signing because we had faced an extremist threat at an LGBTQ cafe over the weekend, and I talked to Angela 100 times that weekend as we were trying to triage and deal with the threat. And then on a Monday, after this horrible weekend, we had 10 different Jewish organizations together at the Valley of the Sun JCC signing the Unity Pledge. And so it was a real affirmation of our values as a Jewish community, standing with the LGBTQ community, sharing the openness of the Jewish community, and making sure that our togetherness was going to win out against the extremism that the LGBTQ facing. It's really an honor to have the affirmation of our work, to know that our work in the trenches helping to protect and safeguard vulnerable communities means something. It matters. It helps us know that we are doing something that's creating change. And so being honored for the fight against extremism is an honor for me. It's an honor for the Jewish community. It's an honor for my organization, the Jewish Community Relations Council, to know that our work matters, that it makes a difference.
Paul, thank you so much for your leadership, and I also just wanted to extend my love and prayers to the entire Jewish community at this most tragic time. So, and now can we please have representatives from Full Swing Studios, Waymo, and Arizona Lodging and Tourism come up to the step and repeat. And while those folks are getting settled, please join me in thanking this year's Unity Champions for their investment in One Community's programs and events. So thank you all so very much, all of the logos there on the screen. Now, to our next hero that we are celebrating today, I should say heroes in this case. Gabe Hagan and Jesse Shank opened go ahead. I see you guys looking at me. Go ahead, give it up. Let's do it right now. Gabe Hagan and Jesse Shank. I mean, when you open a cool coffee shop like that, you get a lot of supporters following you. I totally feel you on that. Opened Brick Road Coffee with the dream of creating a safe space and bringing community together, which is such a beautiful thing. But facing extremist threats to their business and to their home, our community rose to the challenge, ensuring their safety and surrounding them with love, so that this courageous couple could continue to thrive and serve great coffee, proving once again that we truly are better together. Now let's put a spotlight on Gabe Hagan and Jesse Shank.
Starting a socially responsible business was important to us, and leaning into what we thought was right has been what's made us successful. People do come to us for the coffee, but they go out of their way for the community.
As a small business, we've made it a point to be vocal about who we are and what we stand for in the community. We partner with a lot of nonprofits that do the same thing and put on events at our brick and mortar location, some of which, have become culture war flashpoints of sorts, like Drag Queen Story Hour. And we were holding one such event Sunday morning, had 20, 30 kids playing together in anticipation of the reading. We had partnered with the city and had a plan in place because we knew that there was chatter out there from certain groups that they were going to disrupt the event. We got an email. Opened up that email right away because the subject line was basically, we placed a bomb inside of Brick Road Coffee and you need to evacuate.
We were able to take what was a terrifying situation and make sure that everybody was safe, everybody got out, and the kids had no idea. They left happy, they left smiling. There was no chaos in that, and that's because we circled with love.
Okay, what do we do next, right? How do we handle this as business owners? How do we handle this as community members? As individuals, what do we do, right? The police are great, but they're not going to sit at our front door for a week and watch us, right? And, there were threats against us as individuals. So one community got us on a Zoom call, I think within hours, if not an hour. And had, as far as I know, the entire staff dedicated to figuring out what to do, what steps to take, and who to call in the media, who to call at the state level, et cetera, and really help us put together a plan and decide which direction to go. And I can't tell you how valuable that is when you're just at a loss and you don't know what to do, and you've got all of that emotion and trauma and kind of stuff whirling around in your head.
In 2 years of what we've been doing, we would not have survived if an organization like One Community didn't exist. And it's knowing that we have a really, really big, beautiful safety net with One Community and really everybody that makes up this beautiful organization and everybody supporting it. That was the deciding factor of why we kept going and why we will always keep going.
To receive an award like this from an organization like One Community is kind of that slap in the face that, hey, you are acting as a catalyst, at least, that you've provided a space for these things to happen. And so it's good to be reminded, I guess, of that. And, again, I don't know that I see myself rising to the level of impact that some of the other honorees have made. We're in very good company, for sure.
Congratulations to Gabe and Jesse and to all of the One Community local heroes. Congratulations to all of you. And before we move on, we just wanted a quick note here to remind you it's not too late to get your raffle tickets online, ocfraffle.com. And you can also make a direct donation to the foundation. You just snap a photo of the QR code on your table there. And now, if you would be so kind to join me in welcoming PetSmart's Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, David Redfield, to announce the recipient of the 2023 Unity Agent Award.
I'm going to move this up just a bit. It's truly a privilege to be here with you this afternoon. I am a proud PetSmart associate and privileged to be here to represent them today. I'm also the executive sponsor of our Pride at Work Associate Resource Group at PetSmart. So it's a real honor to have that privilege. So thank you. PAW and its members have been instrumental in shaping PetSmart in their culture of belonging for over the last 10 years. Thank you for joining us today in celebrating diversity, inclusion, and equity and equality that makes Arizona great. PetSmart is proud to call Phoenix home and even more proud to be part of bringing this vibrant community together because it's core to who we are as a company as well. We strive to create an environment where everyone feels like they truly belong, and we believe strongly about diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, that it makes us a stronger company and a stronger community. This is why we have been a long-standing partner of One Community, and we are honored to celebrate the Unity Award winner today. On behalf of all PetSmart associates, I'd like to bring up Bradley Breuer. Bradley is our Vice President of Marketing and Leadership Advisor to our Pride at Work ARG to help me present this award, and he's a colleague, he's a friend, and he is a mentor to me. And so please, Bradley, would you join me? Thank you.
Thank you, David, and it's great to see everyone today. Unity agents lead by doing what's right. They follow their hearts, no matter the obstacle, and no matter the journey, in order to make their communities and our world a little bit better for all of us. Now more than ever, we need everyday Arizonans who listen to their hearts, who inspire action simply from doing what they believe is right and work to unite our community. Arizonans who call upon us to do better, to do more to help our families, our neighbors, community, and ourselves grow stronger together. In a time that demands courage, conviction, love in the face of adversity, and dedication to doing the right thing, we could think of no better person to honor this year than Lynette Braddock. While that name, yes, please. While that name might not be familiar to you yet, her story will inspire you. Lynette is an Arizona mom who's been advocating tirelessly on behalf of her daughter, an incredible transgender young woman in her final year of law school. When her daughter transitioned, Lynette was not familiar with the LGBTQ+ issues, but like all Unity agents, she ran towards the difficult conversations and not from them. Her convictions and faith led her to run towards love instead of hate. And through her journey and her incredible faith, Lynette became a fearless champion, not just for her daughter, but for all LGBTQ+ children and families. She has become an unstoppable force of nature, continuing to work collaboratively to advocate for full inclusion through policy, working in lockstep with One Community to protect her daughter and so many others in our community. Lynette is an example to all of us. She has demonstrated that we are all better together, no matter who you are and no matter who you love. Let's take a look.
My parents raised me in the religion that they belonged to, and so I was raised as in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That was a big part of my childhood, and I think it really shaped who I am today. We have 3 amazing children, all assigned male at birth. We raised them for the most part in Chandler, and it was about junior year that we noticed our middle child was struggling. We didn't quite know what it was, but at first maybe just typical teenager stuff. But as time went on, we noticed there was something that was more deep, and that was very concerning. And as a parent, I would check, just monitor them and check text messages from time to time. And I read an email that just said, I really want to be a girl, and explained a little bit more of that. And that's how, when my husband and I learned what was really going on. It was really shocking. I didn't understand it. There wasn't an explanation about gender dysphoria, or even the word transgender wasn't used. It wasn't anything that explained. It was just, for a long time, I wanted to be a girl. I want to be a girl so bad. And I told my husband about it. He didn't really understand it either. And so we visited a counselor to get some direction, helping us to understand this just isn't something that was chosen, that this isn't something that could just go away, and that we needed to focus on the relationship and keeping the lines of communication open. And so we found a time when we could just sit down and talk and explain that we knew what they're struggling with, and that we loved, unconditionally, we loved them, and that we were going to be by their side. And that was very basic, but that was the gist of the conversation. And then later, they told us that they wanted to transition. They wanted to start living as the identity that was authentic to them, that they were. And so, as a parent who naturally wants to protect their kids, I'm thinking about all of these other things as well. Being that it was the senior year and graduation coming, and grandparents coming for graduation, and I thought it would be easier just to wait till graduation's over and then transition and then start college fresh. And that's what they agreed to do, hesitantly, but agreed. But a few months later, this child went to my husband and was just really sad about having to wait. And really what it came down to was, if they had graduated, not having transitioned, nobody in high school would know who they really are. And it was important that to this child that people in school knew who they really were. And so that's when we decided, okay, it's your, we understand, you go for it. But give us a little bit of time to explain to family. And I helped them to understand. And I shared them my experiences and what I had been learning. And so when this child did come out as Chloe on Facebook, saying, "This is who I am," the response from family was really wonderful, to the point where, an aunt bought a necklace with a C on it and mailed it to her. A grandpa sent a card, just say, "Chloe, so happy to have you part of our family." I mean, it was unbelievable. It was family that we didn't think would respond positively did. And I truly believe that God had a hand in that, because it was something that both my husband and I were praying for, to soften their hearts and help them to understand. And they did. And it's been huge for her emotional health, and huge for those relationships. And she has good relationships with them now. And it's because they made the choice to support her and honor her and respect Chloe, her as Chloe. On graduation night, Chloe walked across the stage in what she wanted to wear. Her name, Chloe Elizabeth, was on the diploma. Chloe was on the screen, and she was announced as Chloe Braddock, the graduate. So she got to graduate as who she really is. I didn't start out trying to help other parents or trying to advocate necessarily. As I was open about my story, as I was open about being a parent of a transgender child and doing so in a loving and accepting way, parents reached out to me. And that's how I started to help other parents, is that there was a need there. I recognized that there was a need. And I also needed it. I needed community and that support, and knowing that I wasn't alone. And so I started to meet with other parents, meet for lunch, met some amazing parents along the way. And some of these parents we have started with Liz McDonald, we've started a quarterly parent night where we have a dinner and usually a speaker, but we also just talk. And it's a place where we feel that safe community with other parents who are going through similar experiences and who understand. I have another lunch group that I've started with Monica Phillips with parents that are specifically of transgender or gender identity kids. And we meet monthly, and it's just to support each other. Getting involved in advancing LGBTQ equality and policy work started by meeting Michael Soto at one of these parent groups. He had been invited to come speak and share his story. And he had talked about some of the things that he was doing, and that really intrigued me. And I asked, okay, do you need help? How can I be involved? Because I wanted to do more. And then a little bit later, he asked me if I would speak in front of the Arizona State Legislature in sharing my story. And because they were considering some LGBTQ legislation for equal rights and housing and employment and so forth for LGBTQ people in Arizona, and that would be a statewide legislation, which is really important. And so I immediately said yes, and then said, ooh, wait, that's scary. But I wanted to do it. And so I spoke in front of the legislature. I shared my story, and I shared what was important to me and what I knew what was important to Chloe. And that was a great experience. And sometimes this advocacy work can be a little bit scary. You're putting yourself out there, but it's how things get done. The city of Chandler did not have any laws on the books that prevented discrimination against LGBTQ people in housing, employment, public accommodations. And that was hard for me because I have a transgender child, and when she came out, she was working, and it would have been completely legal for that employer to fire her just because of being transgender. And to me, that's just appalling. I knew that that was not a law, and I wanted it to be, and I had been thinking, what can I do? How can I get this changed? And so sharing my story I knew would be helpful. So I did that in front of the Chandler City Council.
My child lives with fear every day. She knows she could be turned away from a job in Chandler simply because she's transgender. She could also be turned away from an apartment or a public space just for being transgender. She lives in this fear because she knows transgender people locally who have faced these kinds of discriminations. She knows transgender people who have had difficulty finding jobs, or if they do get a job, they face discrimination and harassment until it's no longer a safe place to work. She knows a transgender woman who was told to leave a restaurant because they don't serve people like her. This was a local restaurant not too long ago. These aren't special rights that we're asking for, just equal rights that the rest of us already have. I am a religious person. I'm committed to my religious faith, which teaches me to treat others as I want to be treated. This ordinance is a win-win It continues to provide the freedoms, including freedom of religion, that are cornerstones of our Constitution, and it treats my daughter as we all want to be treated. So I'm asking you to please vote yes. Help LGBTQ people in Chandler, especially my transgender daughter, live life with less fear and more hope.
And having that law on the books just gives a little bit more protection and security to Chloe and people like her and all LGBTQ people, that this is really a great place to live. I was invited by Michael and the Equality and Fairness Coalition and the amazing people at One Community to travel with them to Washington, D.C. and meet with federal legislators there, as well as members of the White House staff, and just basically to share my story. The same thing that I did in front of the state legislature, and talk about why this federal legislation that would give rights to LGBTQ people, the basic rights that I take for granted, that Chloe didn't have and doesn't have nationwide. It was a really impactful experience. Meeting with people who did not already support this legislation, and watching the needle move in their hearts because of our personal stories and why it was impactful to us. We met with members of the White House staff, and one of them was moved to tears because she was so moved that here are parents who are religious parents, parents of faith, but are supporting their LGBTQ kids. And I could tell it was something that maybe she didn't see very often and wants to see more often, and I agree with her. We should see it more often. Most people think that people of faith don't also support LGBTQ protections, but we do. And that's what we showed them in Washington, is that we do. And there's a lot of us that do. And we're trying to get our voices out there and show that we want these protections passed in the state, in our cities, and nationally. Having members of Congress hear from people of faith who support LGBTQ civil rights, and also the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints officially and publicly come out in support of these civil rights, we know that had a